Hello, everybody, and welcome to our podcast, Welcome to Livingston, where we invite local businesses, people, and organizations in to talk about what they are giving to our community. My name is Don Putkela.
And I'm Angela Putkela, and we're with the Putkela Group Real Estate Professionals. As realtors and brokerage owners, we bring valuable insight into the local market and community every week. Thanks for listening, and welcome to Livingston.
Hello, and welcome, everybody, to another episode of our podcast, Welcome to Livingston. My name is Don Putkela.
And I'm Angela Putkela, and we're with the Putkela Group Real Estate Professionals.
Yeah, and we are so excited about today's episode. But before we get started, I just wanted to take a moment to give a shout out to our sponsor. So today's episode of the Welcome to Livingston podcast is brought to you by our valued sponsor, Jim Paquette with Lake Michigan Credit Union. He is a trusted mortgage lender who has lived and worked in our community for many years. Jim Paquette is dedicated to helping our neighbors achieve their homeownership dreams and is proud to support the local businesses that make our area special. And we're just so excited to have him with us and excited about getting into today's episode.
Yeah, absolutely. We just love local. Everything local, Livingston County is our jam.
Yes, and speaking of local, so today we have with us Laura Moran and Maggie Mitchell with the Howell Nature Center. Thank you guys for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Very excited.
Awesome. I feel like the Howell Nature Center has been there a long time, and it's just such a great bedrock of, in terms of some of the fun memories that our kids have had growing up. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what is the Howell Nature Center and what does it do?
Well, we do so many things. I don't know, Laura, do you want to start?
Sure. So one of the things that we're most well known for is our wildlife rehabilitation clinic. We rehabilitate injured and orphaned Michigan native animals. We get about 2,000 in every year, and our goal is always to release them back into the wild. So that's kind of our biggest thing that we're known for. We also have a Wild Wonders Wildlife Park. We have about 70 animals who live with us permanently. All of these animals can't be released back into the wild because they have permanent injuries or, just some other reason that they wouldn't be able to survive. So these animals help us to educate people about wildlife and connect people with wildlife to try to teach them a little bit about what we're sharing our backyards with and make them care about them and have them learn how they can coexist. That's really, underlying everything we do is trying to teach people how to coexist with nature and wildlife.
Yeah, and then so my end of things at the Nature Center would be all of the different camp programming that we do. So summer camps is kind of our bread and butter that a lot of people in the community send their kids to. Our day camps are really popular. We usually run those for 11, 12 weeks in the summer. So when people are looking for something for their kids to do when school's out, we're here for them. So their kids can have a fun time doing traditional camp activities, that you see like on summer camp movies, archery, swimming. We're a little bit different than most camps because we have the wildlife aspect. So that's really awesome.
So cool. I love that.
It is really cool. It's nice to see the campers get to enjoy camp and kind of step out of their comfort zone, make new friends, try new things, all the things that you would send your kid to camp for, but then that added layer with the animals. Having them become future advocates for animals, and they love the animals. They look forward to seeing them every year and getting to go back to their habitats and, connect with them again.
Awesome.
They all have favorites and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so it's cute to see.
Ask, which ones are the favorites? Like, what types of animals do you guys have?
Zeus is a big hit for our camp kids. Zeus is our bobcat that we have at the Nature Center.
Wow.
But there are a lot of birds too that the kids connect with, which we kind of push in our programming. We want kids, to love all animals, not just the cute and fuzzy ones that they see. So we tend to focus a lot of programming on, getting to know different types of animals that they may have been nervous about or not known much about. So that way they have a love for those creatures as well. Yeah,
that is really cool.
Yeah, and outside of summer, we do camps for different school groups. So during the school year, a lot of different schools come, local schools, schools from all over Michigan, really. And we do things on the weekend, too, for like scouts and birthday parties. You can rent a lodge if you want to have a party at camp, things like that.
Well, and I know it's amazing all the different things you have, because I know, like, for our kids, their first interaction with it was when they were in preschool. That
Right.
they went on a field trip
Yeah.
there and got to see the animals. But then, they went to 5th grade camp. And I know we've been there through the Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts as well. So it's amazing all the different activities you have in terms of education, in terms of being involved. But I just love the wildlife park of it, to be able to come in there and to see the different animals, and then for them to learn a little bit about the different ones and what you guys do in terms of rehabilitation.
We want them to learn about the animals and connect with them. And we also want them to be future supporters and advocates for those animals. And, one of the underbelly things that we do at camp, as well as having kids come out and have a great time, is we want to make kids great people. So we have this underbelly of compassion and kindness, and that really ties in well when we have the animal aspect at the Nature Center.
That's so cool, especially since there's so many kids of that younger age.
For sure. Yeah. It's a great age for them to do some exploration, gain some independence, and strengthen that empathy and compassion for others and for the animals.
Yeah.
Right.
But even having fun just in the outdoors, right? Because I remember chaperoning some of these field trips and so forth, and even as a parent going on the zip line. Like, is that something that you guys even still have?
Yeah, we definitely do. We have we call that our adventure education. So we've got a couple zip lines, we have a climbing tower, high ropes course.
Wow,
all of
that
those
sounds like so much fun.
It is. It's awesome. Those activities are usually the biggest hits with kids, because we have a challenge by choice philosophy, which essentially is we celebrate everyone's choice in that activity. So everyone's comfort zone looks a little bit different. Some kids might be more comfortable, just trying the gear on and kind of stepping to the edge of the zip line. Some kids might be comfortable going down the zip line with their eyes closed backwards. And some kids just want to cheer their friends on, and that's cool too. So it's nice because kids can sort of guide themselves in that self-exploration journey through activities like our adventure programming. It's a really fun time.
Awesome.
You can probably really see them starting to step outside of themselves within
Absolutely.
those things.
Absolutely. When they're at school, it's, there's some different goals there. And then when they're at camp, we want them to have fun. We want them to try new things, make new friends, kind of test their own limits in a way, like push themselves, maybe not into like a panic zone, but push beyond what you're normally used to try new things that you might discover you like. And camp's kind of the perfect place for them to do that, and perfect platform for them to try those sorts of things out. So it's really beautiful to see. It's one of the reasons our staff stick around for so long. They love kind of making that impact and seeing that impact in big ways with the kids. So it's kind of a beautiful thing out there. Yeah. And it's a nice way to unplug from technology too. I feel like a lot of these kids have a lot of added pressure with social media and things that we might not all understand from when we grew up. So it's nice for them to sort of separate from that and kind of feel themselves connect with nature and connect with the people around them.
Yeah, building confidence.
Absolutely.
And, that's all so fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's right here in Livingston County, which is amazing.
Yeah. We also have, we didn't talk about this, but we have what we call Alexandria's Naturescape. It's part of the wildlife park, but it's a natural play area for kids. So, it's designed for kids to, evaluate and take risks and do different things that they, it's not like a typical playground with slides and swings. There's things like a tree house and a stump jump and other things
cool.
like that. So again, another way to connect them with nature.
Because especially some of these young kids have so much energy. And with summer coming up here, that's great that you guys are this awesome resource.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have a lake there.
We do. Pleasant Lake.
Yes. Yeah. So, for people to get out and go swimming and such. So it gives that entire campish atmosphere right in our backyard.
Yeah, it does, for sure. It feels like you're somewhere up north and, you're 10 minutes, 15 minutes away. It's
Right.
great back there.
And I would say to people out there, if you're coming to look at the wildlife part of it, one of the things I love outside of it, like the traditional type zoo, so often you go to a traditional zoo and you don't see the animals. And they're hiding, and they're this huge enclosure, and they're way at the back, and you're like, But here, I feel like it's more interactive, and they're right there. So that's really nice.
Yeah, they really make a difference. It's really neat.
Oh.
And I know we've zeroed in on kids and stuff, but even in terms of adults, like who's able to come to the Howell Nature Center?
We really welcome anyone of all ages. In the past couple of years, we were able to pave our trails that go through the
Ooh,
wildlife
nice.
park. So now we're much more accessible for even people in wheelchairs, parents with strollers. So really any age group can come out.
Great. It's nice that it's available to anybody. So in terms of looking for something to do and
Yes. And I was going to ask about, I know that you guys do education and such with the schools, and we've had years ago, but for the Cub Scouts, you guys came out with your birds and talked to people. Do you guys still have that program?
Yeah, so we do a lot with wildlife education. Some of our non-releasable animals will join us on programs. It's always choice-based for them, so they get to decide whether or not they want to participate, but we travel to places like schools and libraries and really anywhere that people want to have a wildlife education program, and we can tailor it to different age groups or different things that, if a school is learning about a particular thing in their curriculum, we can make sure we include that. So that's a huge part of what we do too.
Wonderful. I know that you guys had an owl that the kids just went nuts for the owl with the turning of the head.
Owls are always a favorite. Yeah.
like that there's so much because, living in Michigan, just the outdoors is so wonderful. And so to kind of bring that to kids, I think is powerful.
Yeah, we do. A lot of the schools or the school groups that come have kids that really haven't experienced nature, and a lot of these animals are completely foreign to them. They wouldn't realize that they could be found, right here in Michigan. So it's really cool to see them watch and see these animals for the first time.
Yeah, the interaction. Right?
Yeah.
Neat. Now, as we think back to winter and Groundhog Day and all that, I feel like Livingston County has.
Yeah, you guys are
its
kind
own
of famous
thing.
for your
Yeah.
woodchuck. How did that happen?
Woody is, I don't know. She's the official woodchuck for Michigan. So yeah, she's been, oh gosh, how many years has she been doing this now? I should know this because Groundhog's Day we just passed it. But she's been, ever since she came in, she's been predicting Groundhog's Day for us. She came to our wildlife rehabilitation clinic like many animals do. She was orphaned, and yeah, now she's just our resident groundhog who predicts Groundhog's Day.
Which is so cool. Any idea how accurate she is? Has anyone tracked that?
Yeah, we have, I think it's a little bit under 70% accuracy.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's almost better than the newscasters themselves.
Yeah, she does a very good job with that.
Oh, goodness.
That is very cool. I know it was, it's interesting that, you have Punxsutawney Phil and our kid's grandpa was very much like, no, well, what did Woody say?
Yes. Yeah, Phil doesn't matter. Right. We don't live in Pennsylvania.
Woody is much more accurate than Phil.
Yes. Excellent. He's something to take a lot of pride in for Livingston County.
Yes, 100%. So, I wanted to know, though, I was looking on your website, and you guys have like a lot of events.
We do.
That some people might not realize all the different types of things you can actually come out there for. So what are some of the fun events you guys have?
Well, right now we have breakfast with the Easter Bunny coming up. That'll be April 5th and 6th, which is always a fun event. But we do a lot of other community events too. We'll do things like turtle paddle, where people can learn about turtles and then go on our lake and, do a little paddle looking for turtles that we just learned about. What are some other events, Maggie?
A lot of them are based around the holidays. So we'll have like breakfast with the Easter Bunny. We have breakfast with Santa. We'll do like a Halloween event as well where everyone can come out. But then we have events that aren't holiday based, and they're more like we kind of get together as a team and we decide on, do we want to do like a paint night with our animals? Like, what was the
rats?
Yeah, the
I
rat
was going to
painting.
ask. I saw that
Big
today,
hit.
and I was like, I have to ask about that. So, what is painting with rats?
We have our rats there. They're there as kind of our models, and one of our staff members leads people through a painting of rats. So it's kind of just a fun event where we're showing our appreciation for rats, but it's really just, it's a good thing to bring people together.
Yeah, and we'll do other events too. Like I know our owl prowls are a big hit where those usually are in the evenings. You learn about owls and then you listen for them as you walk through the park when it's dark out and they're more active. We'll do open houses. So for anybody local that's maybe considering summer camp but has never really seen the back of the Howell Nature Center property where camp lies, we open that up to the public to come in, try out some of our fun activities like the zip line you mentioned, kayaking, canoeing, archery. We'll have like a wildlife educator there with an animal that decided to come to our event that day that we'll learn about. And it's just kind of like a fun day for people to roam around, see camp, do some of the activities, and learn a little bit more, meet some of the counselors, that sort of thing. So those days are usually pretty popular as well.
Wow. See, that sounds like a lot of fun. And especially for anybody out there. And I know we do have some moms that listen and that might be thinking about summer camps for their kids. This is a great chance to go and check it out and see what it's about and so forth. And then in terms of those summer camps, like how long do those last? Are there day camps? Do these people spend the night? Like, how does that all work?
For sure. So we do a little bit of both. We have a day camp and an overnight camp. Our day camp runs the longest length in the summertime. So we do about 11 weeks of that. I believe off the top of my head, I think the first day is June 6th this year, and the last day would be August 15th. So we run every week, Monday through Friday, and parents have a chance to register on our website, and you can essentially pick whether you want your kid to come all 5 days, or you can pick our 2-day attendance option, which is just the Monday and Tuesday of that week, or the 3-day attendance option, which is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So some parents just need, a couple days to fill in between the sports and all the different schedules that the kids are doing. So you don't have to necessarily sign up for the whole week. The whole week is our most popular option that we see a lot of kids come to, but we've got some attendance options to kind of help families out and see what fits in their schedule. So we've got 5 different age groups. It goes from entering kindergarten to entering 8th grade for day camp. So if your child falls within there, you can register for one of our camps. And then overnight camp will run for 4 weeks this summer, kind of towards mid-July to the end of August as well. And that's a little bit different. That goes Sunday to Friday. So they have one extra day than the day campers do. And then they spend the night, they eat. They get put in a cabin of kids that are their age, and they get to do all their activities with those kids and their counselors for the week. And they kind of become like a little cabin family. And, there's typically like tears at the end where they don't want to leave and they're going to miss their friends and they want to come back. And it's cool to kind of see the campers come back year after year and request to be with the same kids that were in their cabin the year before. And they keep in touch outside of camp. So just kind of making those connections at overnight camp as well. But yeah, it just runs 4 weeks.
That is so cool.
That is really neat. Yeah.
And again, give them a chance to unplug, because I'm sure, you have these kids that are like, but I need my tablet, I need my phone. And then by the end of the week,
right? Yeah.
They don't need it at all.
For sure. They kind of, in the beginning of the week, there's that like uncomfort, like, oh, I don't have my phone, or I don't have my tablet, or I'm usually playing video games right now. Once they start to actually get moving on the activities and they realize how much fun that is. I mean, we keep them busy too, from sun up to sundown. We make sure we pack their schedule, and the counselors are good at facilitating friendship making. So by the time they're getting to know other people, having other people get to know them, and sharing and all of that, and participating in the activities, they forget about their cell phones, and they'll get back to those as soon as soon as they go home. So it'll be there waiting for them.
I love that it's old school.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's what we're kind of missing these days, so I feel like that's becoming more of a unique experience to kind of do the old school thing and go to summer camp, so It's kind of a cool experience for the kids.
Awesome. It seems like someone can become a member, and how does that all work?
Yeah, so we look at each other, we're like, yeah. We have like a person in our welcome center that handles all of that, so she's like the expert. But essentially, when you become a member, you get different perks. All you have to do is you can purchase a membership through us. You can stop at the welcome center, get like a whole welcome packet that goes over all of the different benefits that I'm sure we'll forget about. But essentially, you get different pricing, lower pricing on some of our events, admission things, summer camps, things like that. You'll get lower prices on. And then do you get early access into things?
Yeah, starting this year, we're giving members early access to different, registering for popular events that might sell out. I believe we're going to let our members come and look at our Christmas trees the day before we open to the public, so they can actually, get first pick. So things like that too.
Yeah.
Well, that is
Nice.
very nice.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I noticed on your website, you also had a section where people can go to give to the Howell Nature Center, and you have like a list of important items that you guys are looking for.
Yeah, how can we support your organization?
Yeah, so we have wish lists that we have created on Amazon for both camp and for wildlife, and we have those on the website. Donations are one of the lifeblood for the Howell Nature Center. People don't realize it, but we don't get any government funding, and rehabilitating animals is very, very expensive. So it's really amazing when we get those in-kind donations, because then that's an item that we don't have to purchase, and the money can go somewhere else. Financial contributions obviously are really helpful as well. We're getting ready to launch our annual baby shower appeal. We do this every year. It's in preparation for what we call the baby season, but it starts in April and it runs April and May. These are the months where we get a huge influx of animals, particularly injured and orphaned wildlife. We get hundreds and hundreds just in those months alone, and it can be really expensive to care for them. Some of these animals will be with us for several months just because it takes that long to grow and to learn all the skills that they need for survival. Some of them too, they all have different requirements for different supplies or food or things like that, but some of them can get quite expensive just because of the kinds of diet that they eat. For example, some animals typically only eat fish, so you have to have fish. So, but yeah, the baby shower appeal is huge for us. It directly covers operating costs for the clinic. So we are excited to see that come up.
That's a great way to support you guys, because you do so much in our organization.
And I know that you were saying, with baby season coming up. So if someone finds an injured animal, what do they do?
Yeah, so if it's injured, the first step would be to try to safely contain it somehow. So, get it out of danger. And usually we would want someone to put it in some kind of container away from children, pets, predators, things like that, in a quiet place. Wild animals can, they become stressed very easily. They are not used to being around people. So it's important to not touch them and to keep things quiet. But the next step would be to reach out to us. We have a wildlife helpline. That number is listed on our website. But people can call and let us know what the situation is, and we can kind of guide them through next steps. And, if it's an injured animal, it probably needs to come into either our clinic or somewhere else. So we will tell them how to do that.
Great, because I feel like we talk to so many homeowners, and inevitably sometimes wildlife does come on into
or the kids
property.
that come running into the house that they have. Somehow they have a baby bird. Somehow they,
yeah, there's always something.
You never know what they find.
Yeah, a lot of the times too, people will find baby animals and they'll assume that they need help, but they don't actually. Mothers very rarely abandon young, so it's very common for the mom to be nearby and hiding, and because of their natural history, they might not feed the animal very frequently. For example, baby bunnies, they only get fed twice a day, and mom does not stay around the nest. So when people find a nest of bunnies, they'll assume that they're orphaned and want to help them, but typically they don't need help. So our wildlife helpline can talk through those situations too and tell people, no, well, you just leave it alone. Nature is best, mom's best.
Right. And I would say to people out there, so story on our end, we're coming into spring now. So we had a full nest of baby bunnies in our garage that had somehow gotten into the garage, probably 15 years ago now?
Oh, it's been
maybe 20 years.
A heartbeat, yeah.
But they had built a nest underneath our lawnmower of all the clippings and everything. So then all of a sudden, come spring, we had a half dozen bunnies in our garage. So, to people out there, just, pay attention. You're coming into that season where the season is changing and, animals are having babies, they're having litters. So just, kind of be cognizant of that and pay attention to your surroundings.
Especially if you're keeping your garage open for a lot longer than you should.
Yes, there is that. Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
But I think it's so wonderful that you guys are able to be a resource for people to call and ask advice and help. And I would not have thought about that of like, just because you find a baby animal doesn't mean the mom has abandoned it.
Yeah, that's really big for fawns too. A lot of people find fawns alone, but that they should be alone. That's a perfectly natural thing. So giving them that kind of advice is part of what we do, just, being there to teach them. We also will teach people how to encourage animals to leave the area if they don't want them there. We call it humane eviction, but moms want to be with their babies and they don't want to be disturbed. So if you have, say, a raccoon in your attic, you can do different things to encourage her to take her babies and leave. So there's always something that we can do to talk people through the situation. You never want, say, to trap her and relocate her, because that's usually a death sentence for her and or the babies.
Gotcha. No, that's a great point, because as people have wildlife, they don't know what to do. So you guys are such a great resource for that.
Oh, that's very, and I know we've been hitting on a lot of things. I know that your organization has so many different things that you're involved in and do. But for so many people, their first entrance to that is just coming out and visiting and seeing the different programs that you have. What are your guys' hours in terms of the park for people that just want to come out?
Located? We dove right in. We didn't even get a chance to touch on where it's located.
Yeah, so we are located kind of, it's closer to Pinckney than Howell itself, off of Triangle Lake Road, but we are open every day of the week. Our park hours are 10 to 5, so people can come during those hours, come and go as they please. Often you see more animals when you come earlier in the day, just because that's when they're getting fed and becoming more active, but we do encourage memberships, because a lot of the times you can see different animals, on different visits doing different things. So just all different times of day, you might have a different experience.
As I said, we have to head back out there because the paved paths.
Yeah, that was before our time. I remember it kind of gritty, gravelly.
But I just love that a lot of them, I feel like there's just a lot of interaction. I know that there was one where the kids crawl through and they can pop their head up and look.
Yeah, that was our old Woodchuck enclosure. We actually just built a new one. We were really fortunate to have some very generous donors fund it. So we were able to at least quadruple, I don't need more than that, the space for the woodchucks. We really strive to give them naturalistic habitats that kind of mimic where they would be found in the wild. Obviously in captivity, they can't do all of the same things. So it's up to us to provide for them. So this new habitat is really great for them. It's really increased their welfare.
Wonderful.
Now, is there anything else that we haven't touched on yet that you wanted to make sure to let everybody know?
We're always looking for volunteers to come help. We're always looking for summer camp counselors, nature educators, wildlife educators. So if there's anybody out there that's listening that, wants to get involved in that sort of way or see how they can, to definitely go to our website and check out the Join Our Team tab. That way they can see all the open positions, and if they're a good fit and they have the qualifications and experience, that would be, we're always open to a conversation with people if they want to come help us and join our team. So, and we're currently hiring right now for various positions. So now's kind of a good time to check it out and see what we have open.
That is good. And I know for volunteers out there, so for any of you parents of middle schoolers and high schoolers, if you're in National Honor Societies, they're always looking for new opportunities to go out and help. And I know a few years ago we came out there to help you guys, and they sent us to an area to just do some spring cleanup. Mm-hmm. So it is a great opportunity to get out, to get involved, to learn a little bit more about what you guys do, and to know what a great resource we have right here in Livingston County that is giving back to the community and giving so much in terms of education as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys are making such a difference, and we're so excited to bring you in and share what you're doing with everyone. It's interesting because in terms of our listeners, some of our listeners are like us. They've been here well over 20 years, right? Might be familiar with your work, but like with us, we haven't been in a while. So it was exciting to hear some of the changes that you guys have made. But then, certainly in the last couple of years, there's been a lot of people that have moved into Livingston County that weren't here before. And so for any of you out there listening that aren't familiar with the Howell Nature Center, or you haven't been there before, make a point this year, just get on out there and go check things out, because it's really something that's so special, and they're doing such great things in our community that you'd be doing yourself a favor to at least go and see what it's all about.
Exactly. And I know the schools, like our kids all did 5th grade camp there, and they loved 5th grade camp at the Howell Nature Center. And then we've had multiple friends' kids that we've talked to their parents that have done your guys' day camps or the summer camp. And I have yet to ever talk to a kid or a parent that didn't say that was the most amazing experience. And the kids just love it and they remember it and they just get to learn so much. And it's about making new friends as well. And to give that opportunity to give them something outside of just the bubble that they're in.
Yeah, I think too, they make core memories at camp. It's really very impactful. I think it's an experience that they take with them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, for sure. We always say to teachers and chaperones that come with the schools, like, these are the memories and the photos that's going to reemerge when they're seniors and they're about to graduate and they're reminiscing about who fell off the bunk bed or who caught a frog or who, went off the zip line backwards. It's just like Laura said, just those core memories that, you can't really get anywhere else. So we're excited if people want to come out and see us and see what we're all about. We welcome everybody to come give us a visit.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys so much for coming today. We really appreciate it. If someone is looking for more info on you, I know we have show notes and such, but what is your website?
Our website is very easy. It's howellnaturecenter.org. So easy to remember. We also are on social media on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram.
Wonderful.
Very good. That's excellent. So find out more, come out and visit. And
and make sure to support them. So, remember, they don't take any government funds, and it's such a great cause taking care of these animals. Go to their website, check them out, check out the ways that you can get involved and you can give back, even if it's just coming out and visiting and introducing your kids to it or introducing yourself to it to see the great things they do and how they're giving back.
Absolutely. We're very proud to have you in our community, and we appreciate all that you do.
Thanks.
Well, we appreciate you.
Yeah, our community has been so supportive of us, so we are very, very pleased to be members of the community as well.
Absolutely.
Yep. And remember next Groundhog Day to check out Woody the Woodchuck's prediction to see if it's an early spring, and go out there and see him as well.
Absolutely.
It's a fun time.
Lots of fun to do, for sure.
Yep.
Great. Well, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yep. And
Welcome to Livingston.